So we played some NES while you've been down here. Some old classics. We actually went through all of the Legend of Zelda,
We did. We beat that in one evening from beginning to end.
and we didn't just skip anything. We got every single thing you can get. All the hearts, the rings.
Right, we got everything.
Every single thing and beat it. So that's pretty awesome going back. We also played a game that from your childhood that we picked up called Eight Eyes, which you said was very extremely hard, and it definitely was. And it was a co-op game.
Yeah.
Like nothing I've ever seen.
When I was able to play Eight Eyes as a kid, I couldn't even get to any of the bosses, let alone beat any of them. I didn't realize how overall short that game really is because of how difficult it was for me as a child.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. I think you can't beat it if you're playing by yourself.
No, I think it would be impossible.
You'd have one player plays as the bird that swoops down and hurts enemies, another is the guy, and it's almost like a perfect co-op game.
Yeah, so if you're playing one player, you have to stop your guy to control the bird. So basically you'd have to clear out a room just to be able to search it, for hidden items or whatever. And it's just not.
Yeah. Oh no, I couldn't imagine playing it one player, but man, was it a blast.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I was surprised how much fun we had with that.
And it's neat because you got one life, and you got to get to the boss and fight the boss. Go through the level, fight the boss, beat the game, or beat that level. I mean, if you died, you have to do it all over again. So there's no checkpoints or anything like that. So there's a lot of challenge in that. But like with any NES game, if you memorize the layouts, you can go through it pretty easy. Yeah. But you also have to get the secrets in the level to get your health up.
Right. Yeah, you have to get the secrets because there's blue jars that increase your health. And then so sometimes, we had to make strategic decisions. Do we skip the full health now? Because there's only one jar of full health in every level. Do we continue on, get the blue jars, backtrack to get the full health?
Right.
Or do we just get the full health now and then deal with it? And then you also have to find the scrolls that give you the secrets to tell you where to put the 8 eyes at the end. Because at the end, it's just a puzzle. And if you didn't find all the scrolls and find all the hints, you have no idea where all these jewels are supposed to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And while we found almost all of the scrolls, even though in some of them we would find it, die, and just not get it again.
Yeah.
Ideally, you could just write it down when you find it one time.
You could, yeah.
But we were able to do that. We also played some Double Dragon 2. Really good game. We tried to play Double Dragon 3.
No, that didn't work out at all.
Second screen.
Double Dragon 3, that was just terrible.
Horrible.
I have no idea how they expect you to survive one life with one bar of health.
Yeah.
I mean, the skills you would have to have were beyond, I think, the Nintendo.
Yeah.
But Double Dragon 2 was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's fun. Now, their platforming in certain areas are like, come on. I mean, the only reason we didn't beat that game was because of the platform.
Yeah, we died a lot because of cheap kills. The one time that, we fell into the water trying to jump across on the bridge. It's like, why couldn't they just make a bridge? Like, why do you have to jump across it? Then, there was one time where the guy kept throwing me over the edge. He kept doing some weird suplex thing and, tossing me.
Yeah. And then we played Batman for NES, and we would have beat that one also, but I was handed him the controller after I died, and it was on the continue screen, and he pressed down and started.
I didn't press down. I pressed
continue, so we lost everything.
I pressed A. You pressed down.
Yeah, when I was handed it to him, I accidentally pressed down.
It was a combined fluke.
Yeah, it was. It was both of our fault.
But to be fair, you had me drinking first thing in the morning, so.
Yeah. Well, 7:30. But that game holds up really well. That's a pretty fun game.
It was, and I felt the same for Demon Sword. We played that too.
We played Demon Sword. And I had never played that one before, and man, that game was pretty intense.
Yeah, I didn't, back when I was a kid, I really didn't understand how it worked. But knowing how a lot of the mechanics and items and stuff and all that worked, it took us a little bit to kind of relearn it, but that was a really fun game too.
Yeah, you got to the last level on that one.
Yeah.
So.
I think that overall, a lot of the Nintendo games probably don't hold up. A lot of them are cheap and, there's not much to them. But there are certain ones, Legend of Zelda, Demon Sword, Batman, I was hoping to try Castlevania 2, but I think all those hold up really well. I mean, if you can get past the graphics, the game mechanics and the enemies and the items and the amount of fun you can have with those.
Yeah, some of them are a lot deeper than. I mean, maybe I just when I was younger when I played, I just didn't find the beauty in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've always played Legend of Zelda when I was a kid, but coming back to it, I'm like, wow, they really put some effort into this stuff and the items and everything. And as a kid, I remember getting the blue ruby ring or whatever. I'm like, look, I'm a blue Zelda now, ha ha ha. It just like that was like my first thing I did. I just go and try to get as many rupees as I can so I can buy that and to turn myself blue. I just thought that I didn't know what it did.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh look, Zelda's not green. Which then we got the red ring and turned him red. So
he looked brown. He was like a piece of poop.
Yeah, he was like a little turd just walking
around. Yeah.
Um,
I think it's supposed to be red though.
Yeah, but I mean, I plan on actually going through all my NES games, which I only have a handful of them, but I definitely want to revisit a lot of them and just see what's out there. I couldn't believe Demon's Souls, a game I wouldn't. If you look at the cover, I mean, it just Fabio's on the cover with his
yeah, they totally westernized it. As soon as on the cover you see that guy. As soon as you turn it on, it's obviously like Japanese ninja.
Yeah, it's a bunch of ninjas, and I'm like, wait, where's my muscly dude with the sword?
Yeah,
this guy's in a Komodo.
Yeah, they tried to make it like Conan or something on the cover.
Absolutely not that. I actually wanted you to try a couple more, but time.
Well, maybe next time.
Time was our enemy.
You can bring him down with you.
Yeah.
For Comic-Con.
Yep, I definitely will. You got a top loader?
I do.
Okay. I'll start playing those.
Load them on the top.